Hello? No, I can't hear you.
Me now?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, say good morning to Corinda. And Corinda is saying, you can't hear me. We can now. Something weird is happening with BeLive and virtual microphones. Go there.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, we've heard from Stephen. Stephen's not with us. And I know Peter is back somewhere, but I'm not sure he's actually going to join us. So there you have it. So let's start again, because you couldn't hear me a moment ago. I did wonder whether this was the second show I would appear solo. So welcome to the show, and this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 297, and we are a UK news review, theoretically. Okay, over to Corinda. Oh, over to Fons. Good morning, Fons. Okay. Fons, there's a spare seat if you want to join us. Link is in Messenger. In fact, there's possibly two spare seats. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Right. Okay. Where to go from here? I'm slightly prepared this morning, but yes. Okay. And
well, I went to get some petrol for Celia's car yesterday and didn't succeed.
Oh.
Because I got in Celia's car and the bloody thing wouldn't start. And it was only serviced just over a week ago.
I suppose that's the place to start, and that is
battery was flat.
Not moved.
The thing is, it goes to our daughters twice a week, which is 5.5 miles. It goes in early in the morning, comes back the next day, and does that twice a week. And that's its total sum mileage, unless I take it out. So normally I go to Polesworth once a month, and I go in that. But I haven't been to Polesworth this last month either, so it's been nowhere. And the battery's finally decided. So that's my first task after this morning, is to get that started.
Yeah. Okay. Which brings us neatly on, because you were looking for petrol. What's the petrol situation at the moment in Solihull, John?
I don't know, because I didn't get off the drive to go and find out. Right. On Facebook, people are posting that most of the petrol stations have had deliveries.
Yeah, well, as you know, we're out in the sticks. There's no petrol in Devizes. And our local GP practice put out an SOS yesterday and said our doctor is about to go on his rounds, and he can't. He doesn't have any petrol. Can he get any petrol? And I thought that hits home how serious this situation is, because if a doctor can't do his rounds and see his patients, then that is absolute madness. And the thing is, go to Fons again, and Fons is saying, is that a vegetable plot in the background, John?
Yeah, well, it's pumpkins. Right. It's not mine. It's a plot a few doors down from mine.
Yeah. It's near pumpkin time again. So basically, I mean, the whole petrol situation is created by the news and the social media, telling people there are petrol shortages in 50 garages for one particular petrol company, and he just snowballed from there, didn't it?
Yep, went boomerang. So yeah,
this is social. We are in a mood where we like to panic, and panic buying just took off, and then you get a self-fulfilling prophecy where there isn't a shortage, but people create a shortage. And it's not been a peaceful process either. There have been scuffles, there have been police. I read a story the other day of people queuing for 3 hours outside a petrol station, which had been shut.
Yeah, I saw that one as well. It's been shut a couple of days before due to vandalism. Somebody had smashed the pumps up.
Yeah. All right. Talking of people and keep staying with traffic, we've got two traffic stories. And the first one of those is this. Insulate Britain, protesters glue hands to M25.
I should just rip them up, shouldn't they? And bloody painful it will be as well.
Well, they've had them in jail. Yeah. We've had government writ saying that this is illegal. If you do it, you'll be put in jail, and still they're out there. And the crazy thing is they're risking not their own lives and the police's lives, but the lives of motorists.
Yep. Ridiculous it is. I mean, it is only on slip roads, not actually on the M25 itself.
Yeah, okay.
But nonetheless, it's still bloody ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're sitting at the top of the exit ramp so people can't get off the M25.
You've got to keep going round and round.
Well, it's only at one junction. You go to the next
junction, then you come right. Oh, yeah. Okay. And we say good morning to Peter. Things are improving. There are now 3 of us. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, I've just finished a very bad cold, just the end of it, you know, and so now I can start to work on things again, because still not getting Facebook. I haven't phoned because I've been ill. I've been really bad, and so I'm kind of feeling much better today. Well,
Good.
It's a miserable day up here, by the way. Miserable.
It's not much better here, Peter. Right. Your thoughts on the protesters on the M25 gluing their hands?
Well, just get the solvent, take some up, line them up, get the biggest bus or whatever you've got, line them up, get next bus full, get the next bus, get them in.
Yeah, but the problem is they're stuck to the road.
Yeah, but they've got a solvent. They've got a solvent that takes them.
Yeah, I know. I've got a little tube of solvent for when I do a lousy job of sticking stuff.
Believe it or not, they actually want to be jailed. They've said that, right?
Yeah.
They want to overflow the jails, give them what they want. Just like they done with the razor gangs in Glasgow. That's what they done. The judge went, what? Strongest sentence it could get. Jail, 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 jail. Man, just jail them.
You're like a stuck record,
because
mate.
I'll tell you what, if it had been another sort of group, their skulls would have been cracked.
It's good to have you back, Peter.
Yeah, nice little rant, Pete. Nice little rant.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'll tell you what, how would they like to be doxxed? Because all it's going to happen, it's happened already. And everybody who says, oh, you're going to work out, I'm going to let you go, we're going to surround you. I'll lose my job, lose your job. Every one of them's going to be caught out. This is a diesel car you've got. All right. But your house isn't insulated. It's my little bit. That's my take for today.
Good. Okay. I hope it doesn't get more. I try to make sure it doesn't get more controversial than that. That wasn't controversial. I mean, that was. I think we all agree that it's not the best way in the world to actually process
what people want to say. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. And Pons is saying that we haven't learned from the 1970s, and that's true. History repeats itself. We don't learn. We do know about it, but
Shirley Bassey song.
Yeah.
History repeating.
Right, and they're causing themselves a sticky problem. That's quite a good one, Pons. Yeah. Okay. Right. Onwards and upwards then.
I've got to tell you something that happened this morning, if you don't mind. It's quite funny. I go into a show, it's actually throughout Britain on LinkedIn Live. And you know, there's 6 degrees of knowing people. They had a Bond theme today, a James Bond theme with the change of Bond and everything. And everything was Bond theme. And then that guest that came on, and his name was Stephen. And he's a James Bond lookalike. And I actually happened to work with him. went to Britain's Got Talent, and we went to a place called Potters, and I think it's Lincolnshire. And it was amazing to know that I'd actually been with a guy, and that was their special guest. Back to you.
And we're back. Okay. Right. Okay, I think we're up to date on the comments and everything. If you're watching us live, thank you. If you do want to make comments, then we'll feature them on the screen. I've gone fuzzy again.
Mm.
I have gone definitely fuzzy. Just a minute. I've got a cure for this. Just a minute.
You need to wipe your lens.
If I switch my light on and switch it back off again, I may come into focus. No, that didn't work either. Okay. See, it looks okay down below. Looks fine there. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we've not talked about this before because it's such a strange case. I'm back. We've not talked about it today. Anyway, just to note that Britney Spears' father has been a conservator since 2008-9, and she's now won back the right to control her own life.
Oh no, there's another one. There's another conservator. She hasn't won everything.
Right.
There's still another third party.
Right. Okay.
Well, that was my reading of it. Maybe
could be. But there have been numerous campaigns in the States on her behalf.
Oh, thousands of people have been flooding social media and emailing judges and things.
Yeah.
Well, right, that noise is back. It must be me. Do you hear it going toot toot toot? So something new is going in.
Just a minute.
That's the sound of a USB being rediscovered.
Yeah.
Have you kicked a cable or anything?
No, I haven't moved at all. Right, not to worry. I'm sure we'll get through it.
Okay. Right, now, ever helpful in terms of being late to just being late with the news. Don't say panic amid the fuel crisis. Cabinet Office warns councils, which does nothing to alleviate the crisis whatsoever, because our council's not saying the word panic isn't going to stop people panicking. And we've done the petrol story at the top of the show, but just thought I'd put that there because it is. Right now, a serious situation for all of us throughout the country is this one. How can the missing 5 million be persuaded to have the jab? And
a lot of them are not doing it for religious beliefs. That's the main theme in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was watching a program that you don't watch live on the internet. Very well, 330,000 subscribers, and a lot of people write to him from these people have been told if you don't get jabbed, you won't have a job. So what their advice is now, they're looking at it with lawyers, is still go into your work. Do not resign. Do not resign. Make them sack you. And then you can take them individually to some sort of
tribunal.
A tribunal. So the advice is to them is don't resign and go to an industrial tribunal. Let them sack you. What's your views on that then?
We know, just on the statements on the screen, we know that we're not all safe until we're all vaccinated.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it. either people catch the virus, come through the other side, or they're vaccinated. Until everybody has been through that situation, the virus will just keep going round and round and round and round.
Are we on Facebook just now?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Yeah, okay. It's a topic.
We must be, because if you look to the right, you'll see that the comments are coming from Facebook.
Well, we've got to be very careful in what we say on that platform now.
We've got, yeah, okay.
But especially this subject. Because there's things I could see on here just now, right? That will probably get us kicked. So I'd rather not comment anymore. I've been stifled.
Right. Okay. In that case, Peter, thank you for your restraint, and we'll pull the subject from the screen. But you've got freedom of speech.
I just looked at the conservator thing that you mentioned earlier. She does have her monies back, but she still has a conservator for her health and well-being.
Right.
Right.
A guy called Jody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the same with going back to that, like the Bay City Rollers. That was quite different. But Tom Payton, who's their manager, fleeced him for loads and loads and loads of money. He was in control, and he fleeced them. He's dead now, but he fleeced them.
Okay. So we can't talk about COVID. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about. Is there anything we can talk about?
Yeah. There's not much really, is there? What about this Labour Party conference? I just happened to see a clip this morning, and Sir Keir Starmer was getting really heckled during his speech. Did you see it?
I read the reports in the Guardian, and it's basically Corbyn supporters.
Yeah. Momentum.
Yeah, because they've changed. He got through the change to the leadership rules, which means that Jeremy Corbyn or a Jeremy Corbynista could never be elected to leader of the party again in such a way as he was.
Is that right?
Is that accurate, or is that the right thing to do?
Do you think that's the right thing to do?
I think that you've got to have in your voting system. The Labour voting system is complicated, isn't it? It's party members, it's MPs, and it's unions. So you've got three sort of fingers in the pie, and they've just redressed that so that you can't get somebody voted in just by one faction. They've actually got to be voted in by two of the three. I think that's my reading of it.
Those union leaders, they're at the top are quite rich people. What do you think,
John?
I don't really know the answer.
Right. For the first time for a while, though, a Labour leader was applauded for his speech at the conference.
He's a lawyer at the end of the day, isn't he?
Who was applauded?
The gentleman you just spoke about, Mr. Starmer, Sir Keir Starmer.
Sir Keir, yeah.
Yeah, he basically he did an hour and a half speech, which is nearly as long as the speech by one of the twins, and he got a good reception for all his ideas.
Right.
And we've had this week, Angela Rayner called the Conservatives scum. Before that were 8 other adjectives, all about their attributes. And the one word that was actually argued about was the word scum.
Yes.
So I think we I don't know. We have a collective idea about what our politicians do, but
I mean, they're all, behind the scenes, they all speak like that. They all know each other, etc. But to come out with it like that, is that really what we want? And Or do you want the truth? Should they be able to go and swear in Parliament, really say what they want, really do what they want?
Could we deal with the truth?
No.
We get a version of the truth in the newspapers and in the media, but we're never actually told the true situation, because it polarizes and it would scare the pants off us at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. You read the Guardian, right? I read the Mail. And we're both opposing papers. And we'll listen to what they say. In fact, I had a chat with my doctor this morning about something. And he says, "Are you a Daily Mail reader?" From my doctor.
Yeah.
It was with statins. And the woman, or whoever it is in the Mail, is anti-statins. Anti-statin. And it's like, he says, "Do you read the Mail, Peter?" And John, you've never mentioned a paper that you read.
What's a paper?
Well, an online version, maybe.
As soon as my browser window opens, the Guardian is there, front and centre. I get to know the news straight away.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. Well, I watch American politics as well. I've been watching the committee question General Milley, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And the wording is quite funny. Did you say this to the president? And they wouldn't say yes, and they wouldn't say no. And you've got to really look at these things to see the undercurrent that's happening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And especially the one with the border for the men on horses, or the people that run across. They weren't using whips. They were using, it was to control the horse, but you had a president there and saying these people will be looked into. Now, I'll tell you, if they get sacked, right, for doing their job, because that's what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
don't be surprised in the very near future if you see border guards going on strike. I don't know if they're allowed. I don't know if it's in their constitution. But we're leading to a path of, I mean, do you ever remember general strike in Britain?
Well, not the 1926 one, no.
Right, okay, but there was a general strike.
Mm.
What was it about?
Are we talking about bins on the streets or rubbish on the streets, or?
No, I don't know what the general strike was for. Do you know what that one was for?
We were in economic decline, and basically it was revolt led by the unions against business owners.
Right. What was the outcome of that?
A depression.
Okay. Right. I just wonder if people go and strike for if there was some sort of general strike. For instance, the lorry driver says, we're not getting paid enough. You're giving us a hard time. We have to do the toilet in our cabs. Well, I'll tell you what. See these protesters. We're going to do the same now. We're going to take every lorry and we're going to block the whole country.
No, that's the French thing to do, Peter. The French do that. The French farmers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And does it work?
That's debatable. That is debatable. I think the government machine is so big that it's just like a pinprick on it. It's just annoying rather than having any major effect. Well, I mean, I can't see a general strike happening because, well, for lots of different reasons, not the least of which is people have to earn a wage.
Yeah. You know, going back to, I'm sorry I missed it at the beginning, but the drivers at the moment. So I've got a heavy goods license and I'm waiting for a letter to come in to see if I want to go for lorry driving, which I won't be. If they were really desperate, I would do a couple of days a week to help out, you know, driving heavy lorry. But here's the problem. They're saying, oh, not enough tanker drivers. In order to get a tanker driver in the past, you had to wait for a person to basically die. It was dead man's shoes waiting to be filled. It was the top of the range job, right? Mm-hmm. So even if you got a lorry driving license tomorrow, you wouldn't be able to drive a tanker because you have to go further training. It's called an ADR, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every driver that drives a petrol tanker or a fuel tanker has got to do extra training to be competent in that job. And you've also got to do a thing called the CPC, which costs you £300 approximately.
Yeah.
And did you know that the DVLA, who deal with all this, had during the pandemic had went on strike? Were you aware of that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
So the DVLA workers went on strike. And that's why there's a backlog. Not because they're short of drivers. You've got men waiting for their licenses to come through because they've had their medical. And you've got men that have passed their, and women, sorry, who've passed their tests and everything. Now they have to wait for the government to give them their license back or give them the approval. So that's the whole picture. It's not lack of drivers.
Yeah. Okay. And we therefore, just sticking with that, shoppers have been warned to prepare for a nightmare at Christmas. I mean, they can predict this now because they know what supply problems they have, and they know what's going to be on the shelves. And it's going to be, whatever happens, it's going to be a different Christmas, isn't it? I mean, the one where we went and packed up the trolley and then went home, it's not going to happen this year. You're just going to be able to get hold of the essentials and.
Well, or maybe bring us back to basics and think about the reason for the season. Not about gluttony and overspending and credit card payments. Go back to rationing. Be a slim nation again.
There's three meanings to Christmas. There's the religious one, there's the family one, and there's the commercial one. And I can see where you're coming from, Peter. Christmas is a time when more people go to church than any other time of the year.
Yeah.
And
even some non-believers go to church.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I remember back in the day, it's a true story, we used to leave the KSC, having had one or two pints, just one or two, and then we all went to the local church for a midnight mass on the 20th.
So it's always there behind. Do you know what I used to love? And it's not here anymore. Fuck, there was two of them. And I always looked out for them in the Christmas period. And it was the Salvation Army Band. I loved going and listening to their music. But there's only about two of them in Aberdeen now in that band that I know of.
Yeah.
And I thought, good on you, always look out for them and give some money in, because there's always somebody worse off in you. So no matter what meal you get this Christmas, and you sit and look at it, you maybe say to yourself, is that it? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Someone doesn't even have that, so give them a thought.
That's very true. It should be a time when we realise how lucky we are. Good point, Peter. Okay, and in terms of health, GP face-to-face visits are still at lockdown levels.
Yeah.
It was 54% in January. It's 58% now. So getting to see a doctor is not easy. Presumably, you spoke to your doctor on the phone this morning, Peter.
Yes, it says we won't be doing face-to-face on video either. They said won't be doing e-contacts. But what the guy phoned me back, and I knew the doctor. I says, can I speak to my doctor? And he's, no, you'll get the duty doctor. But I knew the duty phoned me, knew me anyway, and we had a good chat. And it was nice because he knew me,
Yeah.
And he knew all about me. And he said, it was cramps. I've got problem with cramps in my legs. And he says, you've had this before. So it was nice to know the doctor at the other side. It really was. And in fact, I couldn't fault the service. I phoned in, I got through to the receptionist, asked to hold, and then the doctor phoned me back within a couple of hours, which I thought was excellent.
Yeah, the service is still there. It's just not face-to-face, or as you said, by video.
I have always said that if the doctors, even years, but when we started doing this video conferencing, I've said, if a doctor was to offer me a video appointment to discuss initially what my problem was, I would do it rather than going to the doctor's surgery. I'm all for it. The more the merrier. Because we can handle video, a lot of people can't. That's the problem. John.
That's true.
Me, I couldn't tell you when I last went to the doctors. And when we are talking 10 years plus, I have been to the minor outpatients, whatever you want to call it, at the hospital. They call it the Badger Clinic here.
Yeah.
When I had a bit of a chesty cough and couldn't get rid of it. But I went while the England match was on, and I only had one person in front of me. So normally when you go to the Badger Clinic, there's a queue of about 90. But yeah.
Do you know, my dad was
go to the doctors.
My dad was one of those that never went to the doctor. Never went to the doctor. Even if he was in pain with somebody, he never went to the doctor. And it's a shame, because if he had, they might have found out he had high cholesterol and put him on statins or something for it. That's why he died. Because he never went for a checkup at any time. So sad.
I don't think I've ever had an invite to a checkup either.
No.
I think if somebody sent me an invite saying, "Hey mate, come and have a checkup," I probably would go.
Yeah. But they're not. I mean, that's why there was a couple of weeks ago, last week, most people that, their tablets are still getting delivered, and they might not have needed that tablets for a couple of years because it's never been reviewed. They just automatically give it. What's that all about? So we want a review in a few months.
Got the yawns this morning, Peter.
Have you got the yawns?
Yeah, I don't know why. Went to bed early last night. Now I'm still tired.
But I've got to say, I woke up at 4 this morning. I went to bed at 9:30. I woke up at 4 this morning, bright as a lark. And I just had to get up. I had no leg cramps. I wore special socks. And I got up, and I've been watching something else before I come on. I sit and watch YouTube and Facebook Live, Facebook videos. That's what I do first thing in the morning. See what's happening in America. Have 10 cups of coffee. What's your routine, John?
Yeah. Usually it's get up and come in here. And once or twice recently, I've been to see clients first thing in the morning.
Right.
But normally, I do everything from sitting in this chair. So.
Yeah. Well, as I'm back.
Right. And my day starts with a healthy breakfast of fruit, followed by rolls, coffee, and a chat, and then to the computer. Yeah. Okay, so
I don't do the breakfast bit. I don't have breakfast.
It's the most important meal of the day. So
well, it's called break fast. I used to automatically go for bacon and eggs, but I break my fast sometimes at 2 in the afternoon now.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay, on to the next story. 3 more energy firms go bust amid gas price rise. Now, there were, when this started, 23 different energy companies you could buy your energy from, and the prediction is that by the end of this, there will only be 10. So we're going to go for consolidation again and just be left with big companies to deal with rather than small companies. I mean, these guys were actually dealing on the margin, weren't they? Buying at a penny and selling at 2 pence, whatever. Yeah. So they weren't actually supplying; they were selling gas supplies.
Yeah.
Some of them had as low as 9,000 customers.
Yeah.
How can you run an energy business with just 9,000 customers?
Yeah.
The moment what's happened, it was inevitable they were going to go bust.
Right. Here's the problem. The government says they might take a stake in. I don't. You can't just take a stake in one. You've obviously got to give a stake in 10 it's left. What do you think?
Well, if we were at the Labour conference, they'd want to nationalise it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. We from our point of view, we've got to have a reliable, secure supply.
Yeah.
That's all we want. We want to know there's going to be electricity and gas, then we're not going to have, like they do in some countries, the electricity is only on between 8 and 12 in the morning, and the rest of the day you just got to make do amend. But if whatever they decide fulfills the two criteria of being reliable, and inexpensive, well, energy is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
And I'll tell you, we're all of an age, even me, because I was a youngster. We all remember having to sit around candles at one point in the great United Kingdom because there was a strike. Was it a strike that caused it? And we had to sit with candles.
I don't remember sitting with candles, and I'm older than you.
Do you not remember when there was no electricity and they went off for a while?
I just went to bed, I think, in those days. You're
going to have to research that, Peter, and come back with
you. You're joking. Right. So just what happened is, I think it was a 3-day week or something, and the electricity and gas went off. Okay.
Oh, Edward Heath.
And went to buy candles.
Yeah. It's
Right?
all coming back.
And in my household, my dad was a real mean guy. Now, we bought candles. And when it really got cold, if it went below -0, he would then light them and would get some heat. But
well,
that's the truth.
My kids can't believe that we used to have ice on the inside of the windows.
Yeah, metal framed windows, ice on the inside.
Well, these were wooden windows. We still had ice on the inside. Because central heating, what was that? You know,
cold, a paraffin heater in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then you had your mums, usually the mum getting up and making a coal fire first thing in the morning.
We did have gas fire fairly in the 60s because I can remember it being changed in the early 80s for a new style of gas fire, and when we sold that mum and dad's house, the survey bloke went, "What? I haven't seen one of those for years," and pointed at the gas fire.
We had a coal fire, and it was my job to actually lay and start the coal fire. So I'm pretty dab hand at doing that. Not that it's a skill that's needed today. Over to Corinda is saying, Stephen, did you know I'm sponsored by Restream Apps? Congratulations, Corinda. Brilliant. Okay, you drew some good news.
Regards show at 4, Steve and I have decided to make it fortnightly because it's getting more difficult to find new things to talk about. Right. So
can I ask a question?
Next
Did it go on the stock market or something in video?
Sorry?
Did InVideo go on the stock market?
InVideo got backing from John?
Well, I was just to say they've been raising their capital.
I don't
believe their stock market listed.
I think there was something on about that the other day about raising on the stock market.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, they're based in India.
Yeah.
As far as we understood it, they've got one owner. John. Yeah.
Well, they've got investors, and according to their business details, they've got 5 companies, and there are 3 different owners in each case. But the major shareholder is Sanjit.
Because it was a name. It was a name.
Just trying to remember a name here. Sankit. Sorry, Peter.
That's okay. No, because it was a name that stuck out. It came to the end, and they were talking about stock market prices and things, and people are floating it. And I'm sure I had it in video.
Well, there are so many very similar names like We Video, Our Video. You know, it's just crazy.
I thought it's Haps TV still going.
Oh, Haps is still going, yeah. I mean, Corinda uses it. Eileen uses it. It's still going from strength to strength.
Yeah, Donald's still on it.
Yeah.
Donald from Denmark. Can I give you surname?
And incredibly, the middle of October is Belive's 5th birthday. We've been doing this on Belive for 5 years. And there could well be some announcements then. There won't be any announcements before then. I do know one thing that's happening, but I can't actually mention it.
Yeah.
Daniel is the CEO and Safria is the CTO. So Chief Executive Officer and Chief Technical Officer, they're still the two people at the helm of Belive.
Okay.
That's not changed. Okay. Not that this affects us at the moment because none of us are actually going abroad. But as from tomorrow, you're not allowed to display a GB sticker when you're in Europe. You can display a UK sticker, but you've got to cover or mask the GB sticker on the back of your car. That was something that our government agreed to.
I've got number plates front and back that have GB on them.
Or what happens?
In that case, John, you can't drive across to Europe.
Well, I can if I put a Union Jack or the word UK over the top of them, so long as there's a UK sticker somewhere on the car.
Yeah.
And what's the pettiness for this about?
This is our government asked for it.
This is Boris and chums. This is not Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody here got a new passport yet?
Nope.
Mine ran out ages ago. I keep saying, "Oh, I need to renew it."
Yeah.
I'm told the best time to renew it is in November because nobody wants a passport in November. So
it's a 10-week waiting list, isn't it?
I'll have to get a British one, a UK one.
Right. I don't think sorry, Peter, if you Corinda is saying it's a bit stupid if the GB number plate sticker, people can hack it. If you put a sticker on which says UK, I think at the moment in Europe, nobody's going to touch it. They're just going to leave you to go on your merry way. So I can't see them actually taking the sticker off, Corinda.
Oh. You could actually have a UK sticker and keep your GB one on as well.
Oh, no, you can't show your GB one.
You can't show it.
no.
No, it's got to be hidden. Yeah. You can put a UK one on, but you must mask the GB one. You can go over there with the GB one not visible.
Right.
Yeah. Them's the rules that our civil servants agreed on, and I can't see the logic behind it. Okay. Anyway, some good news. Amazon are offering bonuses to attract 20,000 temporary staff. Because if anybody needs staff between now and Christmas, it's Amazon. Yeah. So they're actually giving signing on bonuses. And well, I wouldn't think they pay them straight away, but you'll get a bonus if you actually work for Amazon before Christmas. Whether you get a bonus at the end or not, I don't know. Right? Okay. But it is good to see people hiring. And okay, I think we're actually coming to the end. Oh, right. Okay, no. Two techie things. Amazon have got a new robot called Astro. And it's like a robot cleaner, but it can do a lot more. It's linked to Alexa, so you can give it voice commands and it will do what you tell it to do. Yeah. So if you spill your coffee, you can say, Astro, clean coffee. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing is, back in December, Inga from Belive, left Belive, and went to work for Ring, RING, the security firm. And Ring yesterday, I don't know if you can find, I don't know if we can find this, John. Ring released a flying camera. So this is a camera that basically put it on a table, it takes off, it's like a hoverbot, and it hovers all around the ground floor or the top floor, wherever you set it going, and it's watching all activity 360 degrees. And so if anybody does get into your house, it will be set off by motion sensors, I've no doubt. And this is the future, flying cameras.
Well, I was in the security industry for about a year.
Yeah.
And the big change with cameras was that you could actually speak to them. So somewhat, not in houses as such, but domestic, industrial. So
Yeah.
people come in, activates it, and you can say to the guard, "Hey, you in the blue top with a moustache and black hair, you're on camera. Police are on the way. Stay there while they come." And it made a big difference to the industry by having that.
Yeah, well, this is like a little stick with a fan on the top and hovers round inside your house.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. But
you won't be able to get hold of one.
Because
they're in early stage of manufacturing, and they're only available in the US. There's a good article on CNET about it.
Okay, very good. It's a sort of thing I would like.
Yeah, there's a video that Inga posted yesterday. See if I can find it.
Yeah, it's quite a few of them on YouTube.
Yeah, but the thing is, Inga actually works there.
Yeah,
that's a connection.
Do they have any preloaded guns?
Hope not. Yes, Amazon offer. Does that mean our Amazon Live can make offers to people? We will be able to do that most definitely on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, because that Ring is an Amazon company.
Yes.
Did you know I actually seen that guy who owns it? I don't know. Is Amazon bought it, by the way?
Ring's been Amazon company for a while.
Okay,
yeah.
But I saw the Dragon's Den when that guy went on to try and sell him the idea. Have you seen it? They turned it down, I think, or he turned them down.
I don't think it's a question of trusting CNET. It's just an article. Yeah, there's nothing to trust in it. This is Corinda saying he doesn't trust CNET.
The thing is, these things are going. I mean, what we thought about in the future, no, in the past. No, even having a phone in your. I said that. We'll have phones in our hands, and a wristwatch will be a phone and everything.
The Jetsons was not a cartoon; it was science fact. If you remember the Jetsons, yeah.
Me, George Jetson.
Flying cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things, if I want them, if I go to Amazon for it, usually, I wonder if this has been invented. And you type in things that might, and then lo and behold, everything that I need is basically there. The things that I want, I say, has this been invented? And it's good. Simple things.
Now, okay, this is a relatively new website, and I'm just wondering whether you've actually heard of it. I'm trying to misspell it. Okay, now this was mentioned by Jeff Adams yesterday, and it's a website called Getter. I presume that's how you pronounce it. It's a social networking site. It's not Facebook, it's not YouTube, it's not LinkedIn, and I can only say that Mr. Jeff Adams is right wing. So I'm guessing that this is a right-wing website, a new one.
Well, it's a social platform that people of the right use. Yes, I know of it, but I'm not on it because, unfortunately, some people have free speech and some don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So some are being closed down. So they're looking. I mean, I use Telegram. That's what I use Telegram.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how many people are coming on there. But you're either left thinking, there's not much middle thinking anymore,
Right.
or to right conservative thinking. And Getter is another one that's out there. You've got Rumble, which is you go in there. But an interesting fact, I was watching Jordan Peterson the other day. Do you know who used Tumblr mostly?
I tried to, but no.
It's women. Women seemingly use it more. And YouTube is used more by men. But Getter is just another one that's came in place. So what these people are doing to get their message out, is they're looking at every platform that they have to go, because eventually someone tries to get them cancelled. And this is why these things are appearing.
Yeah.
And the cancel culture has backfired for a lot of people who were very vocal recently. A lady called, is it Jane Godley? Do you remember her? Do you know who she is?
No.
Oh, well, let me better tell you this. So Jane Godley was very well known.
Sorry.
Okay.
Jane Godley, the comedian. Great fan of hers. Carry on, Peter.
She's basically lost everything. She was meant to be appearing in Aberdeen in the theatre. They mutually agreed that she wasn't going to be coming this year. And it was her first time here, I believe. She lost her kind of job with the Scottish government. She lost it with Zero Waste. She was cancelled. And why? Because someone decided to go back and look at every tweet she had ever done. And whether you're left, right, or centre, this is what they're doing. So if the left try to get something on the right, you can be assured that the right will look for something on the left. And that's what's happening. And people are getting, but it used to be right-wing people that were cancelled all the time, but now the left-wing are getting cancelled.
Right.
Yeah.
They forgot about it.
You mentioned Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah. Rumble's not really a social media platform. It's a Vimeo.
Yes, it's a video platform. Yeah.
Okay. I enjoy Jane Godley's pastiches on Nicola Sturgeon. They are just hilarious. They are original.
I'm
going to own up. I've never heard of her.
Oh well, you probably won't for a while because she's very quiet now.
She is. As you say, she's been cancelled. And your past will come back to bite you on social media. It's as simple as that. Anything you've said ever since whenever you joined in 2009 or before that.
Yeah, well, we've got the case of that footballer who 9 years ago said something when he was 14, and he's got to go on a course because of something he posted when he was 14.
Yeah.
And the FA are insisting he goes on a course.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, but that's just stupid.
Right. Jane Godley. Jane Godley is a Scottish comedian who famous in Scotland, but now famous throughout Great Britain or the UK, depending which way you look at it. She is famous for doing voiceovers for Nicola Sturgeon, and they are so good that Nicola Sturgeon likes them.
That's right.
But, instead of Nicola Sturgeon political speak saying what she's got to do, then you've got this hilarious monologue, which is just so well done and just to the point, Peter.
Yeah. No, I'm going to tell you something. Listen in, Corinda, because in the past she was mentioning a name that we used to call handicapped people.
Yeah.
And that's what she got done for. Okay.
Yeah.
And she also mentioned race, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
On that one. But that was the two things that come back. And it was a common word we used in those days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they still use them. And there's none of this, oh, but that was then. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's all you think. We've got you.
Yeah. She's apologized profusely many times, hasn't she, Peter?
Yeah, and it's cost her a lot of money because her lefty or whatever friends and the Scottish government, they just quickly got the soap. Is there any liquid soap here? Quick! Let's wash 500. She was paid £12,000 by the Scottish government. I think it was to encourage us to get the vaccine. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And Zero Waste Scotland is. Oh, she is riding on the crest of a wave.
Yeah.
She donate. I've just been looking up who the heck she is because she means nothing to me. But she did donate the money for the fee for the commercial to the STV Children's Fund.
And did she do that right in the beginning?
I don't know. It doesn't say enough about her for that to be. I mean, her Wikipedia entry is quite small.
Yes.
So is she.
The thing is, we've all said things. Well, I don't know if you guys, you're quite. I've said things in the past. I was a soldier. We said things that.
I don't know where the wheelchairs come from at all.
No, they're not the wheelchair.
She said the wrong about that topic, Corinda, and that's what she's being pulled upon. She used a word
that we've probably all used in certainly the three of us in our lifetime because it was considered normal.
Well, the society used to be called the society, didn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
and
charity.
also, she has one thing in common with us. She's the same age group as us.
Yes.
She's 61, apparently.
I think we've got to draw a line in this cancel culture from the past. The past is the past. I've certainly said things in the past. And because if it works, if you've said something in 1967, 72, 79, and you're of a persuasion, and someone else of a different persuasion, and one gets cancelled and the other doesn't, that's not fair.
Right, that's true. Anyway, change the topic. Corinda has just said, well, I guess I'm the only one in the comments. Don't know where Fonz is. Corinda, you could well be the only person watching us. We know we know that our audience is widespread. That's why we go into so many different platforms. And we know at the end of the day, tens of people actually watch it. I got this totally wrong. Corinda, I thought this is just a point of interest. I thought you were in your 30s, Corinda. We all did. So you are 54. Can you just confirm that?
Wow.
Yeah, you're looking good for 54. Got to be said.
I'm 61, Corinda. Look at me.
If it was 1967, I was not born then. I think there's a not missing.
All right.
Okay, and Corinda is 31. Yeah. So yeah, I was going for a minute there, Corinda. Yes, you are 31. Brilliant. Okay.
I was 11 in 1967.
I'm saying nothing. I'm
you were 13, weren't you?
Thank you.
There has been somebody else watching on Facebook, but not and commenting, but the comment hasn't shown here, which is Andrew Field. If you remember, Harare, is it Zambia?
Zambia, Rhodesia.
Yeah,
he is Rhodesian.
Harare, Zambia. Zimbabwe. It's not Zambia.
Zimbabwe, correct.
Yeah. So he commented on something Peter said earlier.
Right. Well, that's just doubled our audience then. That's good.
What did he say?
Oh, he said something like "well said, Peter," but I'd have to go back and find it
again.
Right,
okay. Oh, but what okay.
John, it's over to you.
Oh, right. It's that time. So it's goodbye for the moaning bastard. I mean, the moaning person up in Scotland, because he really has moaned again today. It's goodbye from my friend in Wiltshire, who's always calm and collected. And it's goodbye from me, who didn't know half the things they were talking about today. So see you all again next Thursday. Don't forget, Corinda, there isn't a show this afternoon. We've gone fortnightly with the afternoon show. But Stephen's got a show on this afternoon.
Marco Nova and I are live at 2:00 this afternoon for about an hour and a half. We're on Amazon Live on my Amazon page, on Marco's Amazon page. Last week we had 6,200 views. This week we're going to try and better that. Take care and bye for now.
Auf Wiederhören. Sehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Yeah.